Welcome to the Payments Podcast, everybody. It's great to be here today with Myron Golden. Myron, we're going to talk about the Payments Passive Money System and get your opinions and thoughts on it and see what you think of the business as an overall system. Thank you for being here with us today.
Absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure. Looking forward to it, Clay.
Myron, as a person who evaluates businesses, you see deals every day. Being around you for the last couple of years, things come very quickly to you. Um, what is it about payments and the passive money system that is interesting to you? Is it the large addressable market? Is it the low cost of entry? The ability for people to make passive money? What are the key factors that you look for?
Well, I think all of those things are important because they all speak to the doability and the likelihood of something working. Like if you don't have a large addressable market, then whatever your business is, it's not going to do well. So having a large addressable market, like shoes, for instance, everybody wears shoes, right? Well, not everybody, but most people, most people wear shoes, right? And so if you have a car, being in the tire business could be a good business because it's a large addressable market. Well, you guys are in the business of helping businesses get paid. The most important thing a business does is get paid. So therefore, it's a large addressable market. As far as the cost of entry to get started in a business, a franchise could cost you $10,000 to $600,000 or more to start a franchise. If you want to start investing in real estate, you need at least tens of thousands of dollars. There are all kinds of business opportunities that have large addressable markets, but the cost of entry is a barrier for most people. So having a low cost of entry and a large addressable market, now you're talking about a business that's really, really super viable. What was the third one?
I was just saying, the ability to earn passive money versus active income.
So there are not a lot of businesses that have real passive income. There are a lot of businesses that claim to have passive income, and what they really have is deferred income. And for instance, I used to be in the insurance business, and you'd sell an insurance policy, but you'd get paid, or you'd sell maybe an investment, because I sold mutual funds as well. You get paid when they made the initial investment, but then you get paid what they call deferrals, right? And those deferrals were when they made more payments then on their policy, or they're put more money in their fund, you make more money. But network marketing says it's passive. In real estate investing, they say that's passive money, but it's not really passive if you got to go fix toilets, right? But like in the business of money, which most people don't even know money is a business, but in the business of money, if you can figure out a way to help businesses have more ways to get paid, and then you get paid every time they get paid, now that's passive money. I think there are other passive money streams as well. Like if you write a book and it's a bestseller and it sells on a website and you don't have to do anything, that's passive money. But there are very few passive income streams. But the ability to get paid off of merchant processing, and basically means a business owner, every time they swipe a credit card, you get paid because you're the one who established the account. Yeah, passive money is a real viable income. We have in our business, the part of our business that stabilizes our business and makes our business sellable is the passive revenue, right? It's the money that comes in every month without us having to go out and get it.
Yeah. Sorry, Bobby. I just want to follow up with that one. So, the thing is, when you say you write a book or something like that, it's something that you created.
Right.
And so there's a lot of people watching this that
they don't have the ability to create a book, right?
It's the furthest thing from their
mind. Right.
Or
Exactly.
they want to start a business, but they're not exactly sure what to start. And the concept that payments fulfills is to allow people to make money when other people do things that they already do.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to get paid based on somebody's already established behavior is what you're saying. Yeah, that's pretty remarkable.
And let's delve into that a little bit more. So can you explain to everybody the difference between a linear income and like a residual income?
So linear income basically means it's in a line. It's linear. It's not in a multiple. It's like addition. Linear income works like this. You go to work, 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 you get paid. Then you go to work, you go to work, you go to work, you go to work, you go to work again, you get paid again. Residual income is you go to work, you get paid, 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 you get paid. That's residual income. It keeps on coming in. It's residual. It lasts. That's what the word residual means. It lasts. And so having residual income it's one of the best kind of incomes to have. So
Amen.
so
And the payment startup costs, and one of the things that's important is affordability. Like you were talking about real estate, and people often cite things like car washes and other forms of,
right.
I call them faux passive
Mhm.
mechanisms. There's some passivity to them, but they're more or less a business.
Right.
Affordability, being able to do it in the first place matters. Even setting up a car wash is $500 now.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. Even a parking lot. Like even if you want to have a parking lot in downtown busy city America, you got to have the lot cleared. You got to buy the lot. You got to have the lot cleared. You have to have somebody attend it, or you have to put in machines where people can scan a code, or signs where people can scan a code. So there's always going to be some kind of something involved. Yeah.
And then with payments, our startup cost is $350 a month.
Hmm.
And then your commissions, your residuals start offsetting almost right away.
Hmm.
Can you speak to that? Like, what does that mean to the average person in your mind?
Yeah. Well, I think about my business, where the startup cost it couldn't be astronomical. I remember when I wrote my first book, we talked about writing a book, for instance, and I've written several books, and they're doing quite well. But I invested $18,000 into learning how to write a book and sell a book before I wrote my first book.
Wow.
Right. I think about my YouTube channel. Like one of these cameras cost, I don't know, $4,000 to $6,000, and the lenses are $6,000 to $12,000, and the lights are $6,000 a piece. And next thing you know, you spent a small fortune to launch a business. This building is $5,300 a month for the mortgage. So cost prohibition is real in the minds of most people, and it keeps them from ever even entertaining the idea of starting a business. To be able to start a business for $350 a month, in full disclosure, it almost sounds too good to be true.
So, what's the biggest challenge that hinders most people from starting a business, even though it seems like the concept of a job is going the way of like the 8-track tape?
I think the biggest hindrance is all that they believe is required to start a business. I've got to go back to school. I've got to get a degree. I've got to learn this. I've got to get this certification. I've got to get this documentation. And then I've got to have enough money to go start a business after I pay all the money to learn how to become the person who can start the business. So all of the things that people believe are involved in starting a business stop most people from starting a business more than the actual things that are required to start a business. Like you said, you can start a business. Start a business. Start a business sounds like like when you say start a business, it sounds like, well, I need to get business cards printed. I need to get stationery. I need to have an office. I need to have a desk. I need a computer. I need a printer. And people start thinking of all these requirements when there are businesses that you can start that don't require any of those things. So,
And so, speaking along that line, what is your opinion of the payments brand partner system for passive money?
well, I think it would have really been highly beneficial for me when I got started if I had known something like that existed for $350 a month, that I could start a business that that has automation, delegation, and replication all involved in one package for $350 a month. I would have been pretty excited about it, to be honest with you. Like when I first got started, to start a business for $350 a month, and it comes with leads that are generated, and it comes with sales that are replicated by somebody other than me. I don't have to go knock on somebody's door and ask them to buy all. Yeah, I think it's really remarkable. I think it's really remarkable, and provides somebody with a very who's not a very astute business person yet, the opportunity to make some real strides in business, because merchant processing businesses and people who business owners who represent merchant processing have the ability to build a book of business that has a lot of potential, like a lot of potential, way more than any job that I've ever had.
Well, yeah, the merchant processing business moves billions of dollars every single day. And brand partner agents don't only get paid when they enroll a new account, they get paid every time one of their merchants charges and uses their credit card.
Yeah, that's mind blowing.
How does that sound?
So it sounds, you know what it reminds me of, but it's different. It reminds me of when I do like an affiliate deal, right? And so I enroll somebody as an affiliate. We'll take a podcaster, for instance. So I sign up as an affiliate for a podcaster, and they interview me, or I'm sorry, they sign up as an affiliate with me and they interview me. And then when I promote whatever the thing is I'm promoting to their audience, I give them that person's affiliate link, and that person makes money. They didn't have to go find the people, right? Yeah, but it's better than that from the standpoint that the business owner is going to swipe credit cards whether you do anything or not. Like if you call them and say hi that day, they're going to swipe credit cards. If you don't call them, they're going to swipe credit cards. If you go see them that day, they're going to swipe credit cards. If you don't go see them, they're going to swipe credit cards. If you play golf, they're going to swipe credit cards. If you're on vacation, they're going to swipe credit cards. And the idea that businesses who are putting time, effort, energy, money, and manpower into getting paid, and you are going to get paid every time they get paid, even though you're not putting the time, effort, energy, and manpower into it, is a mind-blowing concept.
Yeah, like you said, it almost sounds too good to be true.
It does.
And
It
but,
does.
So does air conditioning. Yeah.
Exactly.
Here we
Air
sit.
travel,
Yeah.
air conditioning, air travel.
Yeah. How many people have you texted this morning?
Exactly.
Yeah, me too.
And we get that every day.
Every day. All of that stuff sounds. Most of the things that we take for granted in our everyday lives these days sounds too good to be true.
The other thing that's interesting, and I think a little different from the affiliate model, is when you have an affiliate and let's say I'm an affiliate and I sell a book for you.
Right.
I'm probably not going to keep selling books to that person every day. And that's like,
Right.
But people are going to be swiping credit cards at that business every day from now on. And a lot of these businesses are running 7 days a week.
100%.
So Myron, you've coached, I don't know, hundreds, probably thousands of people. And you've got to be over 100 people now that have had, $100,000 days, $200,000 days, $1 million days, $1 million months. And the payments passive money system is different than that. It's not designed to make you $1 million in a day.
Right.
Can you describe at what point in your mind does that turn over and set somebody like free?
So it's really interesting. I did a video one time called "Get Rich Fast, Build Wealth Slow," right? And so get rich fast means wealth is measured like getting rich is measured more in time than it is in money. If a person makes $1 million, are they rich? Well, it depends. What does it depend on? How long did it take them to make it? If they make $25,000 a year and they work for 40 years, they made $1 million. Are they rich? No. But if they make that same $1 million in a year, now they're rich. Why? Not because they made more money, but because they made it faster, right? So that's the get rich fast part. But the build wealth slow part, that's the legacy wealth. That's the kind of wealth that it snowballs. It gets bigger over time. It gets to the point where there's more money coming in than you have time to spend. And most people, they don't give attention to either one of them. But I love the whole idea of building wealth slowly, because where you're headed is far more important than how long it takes you to get there. If it takes you want to build a book of business with as a payments brand partner, for instance, if it takes you a year to get to $15,000 a month in passive money, great. If it takes you 5 years, $15,000 a month, here's what we know. 5 years is going to go by anyway. So is 1 year. So I think the question that people really would do themselves a great service to ask is, if I don't do this to start building some passive residual income, what are the things that I'm doing now that are going to do that for me? It's not a question of whether or not this will give you a passive. It's just a question of whether or not you care enough about passive residual income to even start focusing on it.
Well, when you look at that math
Mm-hmm.
of residual income and merchant processing, at what point does that income stream have the potential to become someone's primary source of income?
Well, I always tell people, and I think this is a great opportunity for people to take this to heart. Never leave your job after when you start a business. If you start a business part-time, never leave your job until the revenue from your job passes the revenue from your business. I mean, the revenue from your business passes the revenue from your job. Never leave your job. In fact, even if you hate your job, in fact, I'd say this, especially if you hate your job, don't leave it. Why? Because nothing will inspire you to build a business that you love like having a job that you hate. And so keep the job until the income from the business surpasses it, and then you get to call in sick for the last time. You know what that looks like?
A beautiful thing.
Hey,
Say that one more
look,
time. You said you were talking about never leave a job.
right. Never leave your job until your income from your business surpasses the income from your job. And see, when that happens, you can call in sick for the last time. Here's what that looks like. Hey, boss, I'm not coming in today. I'm not feeling good. Really? What kind of problem? What's wrong? I don't know. I'm having a little trouble with my eyes. Your eyes? What's wrong with your eyes? I just can't see myself working for you no more.
Boom.
Exactly. So yeah, I think for most people, I even like when I think about it now for myself, when I think about the fact that, I used to have to go work for the man, and now, like, I have a business that provides for my family, it blows my mind. And the reality of it is more surreal than the imagination of it before it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, some people may be watching this and may be thinking like, okay, what could go wrong? And one of the biggest crushers of any business or business model is inflation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Oh, well, the prices got high, materials got high,
Yep.
all those things went up. And one of the things about, um, you know, when inflation happens, what does it mean to you to be, for someone considering being a brand agent, a brand partner with us, and looking at how to grow a passive money stream when inflation rises? What happens to them?
Well, it means when inflation happens, the businesses are charging more money. And if they're charging more money, then your percentage is going to be higher.
Very astute.
And so what happens is the same thing that has a negative impact on most people when you have a book of business, that same negative impact of inflation actually has a positive impact on your income. Um, and and if you think about it, that's a scientific principle called the law of polarity, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If there's something that is creating financial stress for some people, like financial stressing is being created by something in the economy for a large group of people, well, there's another group of people that's creating a financial blessing for. It's a good idea to be on the blessing side and not on the stressing side.
Amen. Well, most people in sales get paid once and then they've got to go out and find a new customer.
Right.
A brand partner agent gets paid every month by the same customer they signed up even 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
How does that model change the pressure of how a person feels every single month when it comes to hitting their income goals?
Well, I think in two ways. I think one is if a person, if you have an account that's a grocery store, people are going to buy groceries every month. If you have an account that's a gas station, people are going to buy gas. People are going to go to restaurants. Like, I know I eat at restaurants probably half the days out of the month. I order food from a restaurant like Uber Eats or something half the days out of the month. So if that's the case, people are like literally the businesses that you establish accounts with, they're building the business. The customers are coming to them. They're swiping the cards. You're getting paid. But the other beautiful part about it is that snowball effect that we talked about. As time progresses, the book of business gets bigger and bigger. And it gets bigger for two reasons. It gets bigger because you have more accounts being added, but it gets bigger because businesses are interested in growing and the businesses start doing more business.
So just at a thought of that, you don't get paid a certain rate every month. It could increase if the business increases, correct?
100%. Well, it will increase if the business increases. And a lot of businesses that I do business with them every month.
Yeah, and Bobby makes a great point there. As a business grow, inflation can raise your paycheck, but also business growth can raise your paycheck too. And having a diverse group of businesses, because the Payments Passive Money System spreads across all industries, insulates people from downturns in certain sectors of the economy. This is why the banks are the biggest buildings in every city.
Big banks, little bitty houses in every city.
It's the way it works.
It's the way it works.
This is the chance for all of us to get in on it. And that's what attracted Bobby and I to it. Once we figured it out and thought, man, this is pretty neat. So how does this make sense? Passive money, for someone looking to build, long-term financial independence, what does it mean?
Yeah. In business, momentum is your greatest friend. And inertia is one of your greatest enemies. And momentum is that an object in motion will continue in motion unless it's acted upon by an outside force. The more momentum you have, the more effortless everything feels. The less momentum you have, the more effortful everything feels. And so one of the things that is mind-blowing to me about business is the longer you stay in business, especially doing the same thing, the more effortless that thing becomes. And if there comes a tipping point where you actually get more output for less input. And so momentum becomes part of your leverage. That's the power of staying in a business long term.
Well, and a brand partner is a B2B opportunity, business to business opportunity. How does this compare in your mind, to a B2C company? And explain what a C company is.
Okay, well, B2C is a business to customer. So business to customer, you have B2C, you have B2B, you have B2G. B2C is business to customer. If you have business to customer, the customer has to buy something in order for you to get paid. But if you have B2B and the whatever the product or service that you're selling to the business is, if it helps them get paid, if it helps them make money, then they have to have it in order for them to get paid. So now it's so weird to think about this. You can literally set up a business where your revenue is tied to the fact that someone else has to stay in business. So they have a more vested interest in maintaining your income stream for their own purposes and their own reasons than you do. Because if they don't do any business, they don't get paid.
Now, does that mean if Bob's Pizza is one of my deals and I go in to get a pizza and somebody swipes their credit card, I get paid
That's exactly right.
off a pizza?
Pizza, shoes, electric bill. It doesn't. If somebody swipes a credit card, like there's a merchant who signed up my jet broker, right? And I put that on a credit card. You know how much my last purchase from him was last month? $750,000.
Hello.
And I don't know what, so let me ask you a question. Whoever signed up that guy as a merchant, what would they make off of a $750,000 swipe?
The smart guy's going to have to answer that one.
The brand partner would make around $2,800 a month off that.
that one account?
If that was a monthly transaction,
No, it's not monthly. It's a couple
so
times a year.
one-time transaction, yeah,
About $2,800.
$2,800.
$2,800, right? And they don't even know me. They don't even know I exist. That's mind blowing to me.
It's our mission to make that happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Based on what we talked about so far, what in your mind, what's the greatest advantage to being a brand partner and having a passive money system?
Well, I think the greatest advantage is you can set up a business that is ubiquitous to other businesses doing business. In other words, your business, your offer becomes essential to them doing business. And then once the account's established, you have no more work to do. And you don't have a ton of infrastructure in order to set it up. This LED wall is a $90,000 LED wall. Like
Somebody paid for it.
Somebody had to pay for it. Yeah, indeed. Like these cameras, buildings, chairs, like all of this stuff, electricity, all this stuff has to be paid for. You start a business and your only expense is $350 a month. Again, we've already said it 3 times, but it does sound too good to be true. Go ahead.
Well, a lot of people consider this opportunity wonderful, and they're probably wondering, is the market saturated? And, given that there's millions of businesses in America and the vast majority are still overpaying for credit card processing fees, how do you think about the size of the opportunity still in front of someone who just says, I want to start today?
Let me ask you a question. Do you have a refrigerator?
Yeah.
Do you have a refrigerator?
I do.
Do you know anybody who has a house who doesn't have a refrigerator?
No.
Everybody has refrigerators. But yet Walmart, Best Buy, Lowe's, Home Depot, they all still sell refrigerators. And you'd think the market's saturated. I believe there's no such thing as a saturated market. It doesn't exist because people's desires change. That's number one. And like you said, most merchants who have merchant accounts are overpaying for processing fees. So if you have an opportunity where they don't have to do that, I think the market is so big, it would seem that it's like not capturable. Like, or as Buzz Lightyear would say, to infinity and beyond.
It's always growing and changing too. People go out of business and new businesses fire up and start up. We signed up a gentleman, I don't know, a month or so ago. He did $73,000 in 1 week. We saved him around $2,600 just in processing
In
fees.
1 week.
In 1 week.
Wow.
And so what does that feel like if you're a brand partner to be a part of that? What do you think about the value of that's being created in the transaction, not just for the brand partner, but for the merchant and their family? What about the merchant? I mean, they're sort of lost in this conversation.
Yeah. The more a merchant processes in credit card payments, if that's the bulk of their revenue, if that's the number one way they collect money from their clients, and they do a lot of business, merchant fees can be to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars a year. Well, tens of thousands of dollars a year going in your pocket instead of somebody else's pocket makes a difference. You can do something with tens of thousands of dollars a year.
Why should the banks make it when you can keep it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Why should they?
And most business owners, like we've talked about before, they don't know what they don't know.
Right. Well, I started processing credit cards in 1997, and I've been processing credit cards since then, and we've done millions of dollars in credit card sales. I didn't know until I talked to y'all last year that it was even legal to have for a business to actually make the client or the customer pay those credit card fees. I thought it was illegal because it used to be illegal.
Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah. So when the law changed, nobody informed me.
Do you think they want you to know?
Indeed. That's a good question.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest, how important it is to have a business that produces a residual passive income?
Well, I think it's one of the most important things. I think there are three types of income that we have to focus on in order to build a successful business. There are three types. There's leveraged income, which means I'm going to make a sale and it's going to bring in a lot of money in a very short period of time. Okay. Well, merchant processing doesn't really do that unless you get some big account where they're selling airplanes and swiping them on credit cards or something, but that possibility exists, right? But the other two, the second one is lifestyle income. And that's the income that I only have to go set it up once and I don't have to go get it every month. I love lifestyle income because I love lifestyle. I love free time. I love having more time. That's important. And then legacy. And I believe that the opportunity that you guys have that I've looked at is it gives people the ability to have the lifestyle income, but also the legacy income over time. And let's say it takes you 10 years to build some level of legacy income. Maybe it's $50,000 a month or $100,000 a month in passive income for your family. The 10 years is going to go by anyway. So what difference does it make? So,
Yeah, that's a very important point. Bobby and I built passive money businesses in the past. It took us 7 years for me, 5 years for him. And
those were licensing businesses, right?
those particular businesses were paintball fields.
Okay.
I have other licensing businesses that I've built, and but they're systemic in nature, but like you said, the time's just going to go by anyway.
Right.
And the key is to find that passive vehicle that you said earlier. Like if you don't do this, you need to do something.
Right.
Because eventually your active income will stop when you stop being
active.
Yeah, that. And so the other thing I wanted you to speak to, if you would, is this reminds me so much. Being a brand partner, you're actually a part of someone's business, but you're not part of their business. You're completely passive. You're not there every
You don't
day.
have any responsibility in their business.
You have no risk. And you don't have to deal with all the cost either. You just get a cut of the revenue, which is the cream.
Yeah.
And so could you speak to that versus, all the stuff that goes into P&Ls and balance sheets and everything else that our brand partners literally just don't have to mess with?
Well, if they have a successful business, they have automation and they have delegation. So I'm just going to give you a couple. I'm going to give you one of our automations and one of our delegations, okay? Our automation, we have one automation with our CRM, our customer relationship management software. It's $1,500 a month. It's $1,500 a month just for our CRM. Our payroll is $100,000 a month. Our payroll is $25,000 a week. You have a business that has the potential to provide lifestyle income and legacy income, and you have neither automation nor delegation to pay for. It'll change your life.
In your opinion, what kind of person is the best kind of person to take advantage of an opportunity like this?
The kind of person who is looking for a way to supplement their income in the beginning and surpass their income in the end without them having to sell their soul to get it.
Wow. Okay.
So, that's the best answer I can come up with.
And that's huge. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a mic drop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very good. Thank you so much, Myron. Thank you for,
my pleasure. What a great conversation.
Thanks for working with us and guiding payments through our journey as well to help other people and bless other people. And we appreciate your time today.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. It was great talking to you. Bobby?
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.